Hello and welcome. What a fucking day. What a fucking ride. This is Monday, Christmas Monday. Let's begin with a couple of breaths in the healer's prayer. I invite you to repeat after me. I'm here to be truly helpful. I am here to represent him who sent me. I do not need to worry about what to say or what to do, because he who sent me will direct me. I am content to be wherever he wishes, knowing he goes there with me. I will be healed as I let him teach me to heal. So today is Christmas Day, and I've been given many opportunities for forgiveness and many opportunities to further detach from the insane thought system and its crazy and painful stories. I love how Kenneth Wapnick just nails it, keeps bringing it home. It's simple. We look at the ego without judging it. That's the whole thing. And today I was given many opportunities to look at all of the stories that the ego has created around Christmas. Christmas is probably my least favorite day of the year. And there's hundreds of stories attached to it, hundreds of painful stories. And so today I was given the opportunity to just watch all of the nightmare. This script that's going, the dream, it's known as. Mine's been a nightmare. The more I unwind the stories, the more I realize it's all just been a fucking nightmare. And what a blessing it is to find out that I can just choose again. I don't have to identify with the painful stories anymore. I find out that the painful stories aren't me, they're the insane thought system. What a fucking insane thought system it is. It's totally insane. And so Christmas holds a lot of insanity for me. So just what a blessing, an opportunity to look at it all. This morning got really dark. My dream character has the capacity to go really dark. Self-harm, my self-hatred, really noticing just how much the ego hates itself. And so a lot of self-harm, a lot of suicidal stuff came up today, just like I'm gonna quietly go off and off myself. And what an interesting thing to just watch. I got sucked in a couple of times. I did. I got sucked in a couple of times. At one point, I caught myself sobbing uncontrollably because of the pain that I was in. All of this emotional pain around Christmas, these stories, painful stories. My family is estranged. Most of them are all estranged. We don't talk to each other. It's so fucking painful. It's just like, wow. So again, like I've been saying this, it's really noticeable. So patterns are showing up. It's really noticeable to me now, this insane thought system. That's not me. It's not me. I'm not the mess. I get to choose. I get to choose again. Jesus keeps asking us, just choose again. You just get to choose again. And there's only one problem and one solution. That's my lesson for the day, lesson 80. One problem, one solution. So all of these stories that I was going through this morning, like, holy fucking shit, it got dark. Like I was just gonna go kill myself. None of that's me. None of that pain is who I really am. And so twice I caught myself in it. And I just get to choose again. I must have decided wrongly because I'm not at peace. And then I get to choose again. Forgiveness is still and it quietly does nothing, merely looks and waits and judges not. So I just look. And as soon as I look, I'm not suffering anymore. Because the one that looks cannot suffer. The one who looks cannot suffer. Who I really am cannot be affected by images on a screen. And this is a screen that we're playing, that we're watching. So many opportunities today. How blessed I am to be given Christmas as the greatest gift, to just be able to watch and further disidentify from the shit show. This is the beginning of week 9 of this support group. What a ride. Christine, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for showing up. Merry fucking Christmas. How you doing?
Um, well, leading up to Christmas, I kept forgetting that it was Christmas. And thing I don't know, things are just gradually slipping away, and uh I've been alone. And um it really just feels like any other day. um Except there was more guilt today. Like, do I text my father? Do I, I spoke to my mom a couple days ago, and that's fine. Um, but the whole father thing, there was like, I was sitting with that last night, and this morning I woke up and I was like, okay, do I text or call or something? And I just felt like I just felt this. So that can't be a yes. You know, oh God, no.
That's a pretty solid not yes.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, oh God, God, God. I don't know if you can hear that jingling. That's somebody wishing me Merry Christmas on I don't know, whatever that's called. With I can't find words. That's what's happening a lot for me is um I really feel like I'm to be spending time with this experience that's dropping in, and that's been dropping in for quite some time. And I find when I do my lives, I'm just like uh, for words, and things just feel slower, and there's still a lot of fear coming up. It comes in waves, like this. I'm listening to David and whatever videos, right? And this correction that happens, this transition that happens, like you won't be hurled into eternity, you won't be hurled into heaven. So there has to be a transition, and the boat is righting itself, and all the metaphors, and I actually feel like I'm on a boat most days, all day, like the motion of a boat. I feel like I'm on a boat. I can be lying on the couch, and all of a sudden I feel like I've moved a foot, just very drastically, and then this mountain of fear gets triggered. And that's been going on for quite a long time, since 2017 actually, like this consistent boat motion. And I can tell, I just want it to be done, but that's not the way out. So uh like there's stuff here for me to see, and I think just being with it is important, and knowing when I want to distract myself from it or push it aside. Like I literally feel the world shifting as I know it, as I've defined it. This worldly definition and experience is literally shifting, and it feels very topsy turvy. Yeah, yeah, like when you're in, like when you're on a boat and you go to grab something because there's a sudden shift, like that's I want to try to keep grabbing for something, and I really think I'm being asked to just go through the motion, be with the motion of it. And yeah, I can't say I the other day something happened. It sort of got much quieter. The motion, the physical motion of it got really, really quiet. And I found myself fluttering around the house because I could. I have to go a lot slower. When you feel like you're on a boat, you have to move a lot slower, and so I was puttering around the house and do 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 do, and then it was like, oh, like if it's almost like spirits like you have to be to a certain degree incapacitated so you don't run around doing all these distracting things that aren't serving you. So we're going to slightly incapacitate you so that you have the opportunity to pause and be even more still. Yeah, I always thought I was pretty good at stillness, and I think I was to a degree, but even more. And then, okay, next level of stillness. And then, okay, even more now, next level of stillness. Yeah. Yeah. David said something in a video the other day that was like, some people pursue the course in spirituality as though it's their career. And I was like, fuck me, I did that. I have done that. I was doing that. And there's still remnants of that. And I can tell they're still there because when I hear Francis say stuff like, I don't have to do anything because I have one who knows. Jesus knows. So all I have to do is turn in that direction, ask the right person, ask the right questions, lean in the right place. And I still get a little wrapped up in thinking I need to pursue my way out of this. I need to dig myself out of this. Yeah.
Clueless, carefree, cared for. Yeah, it's terrifying losing the identity. I been on this transformational journey for 13 years, and I've lost my identity several times. And it is a lot like having vertigo and being on a boat, losing your footing and being completely lost and topsy-turvy. For several days or several weeks, I've been like that for several months at a time, just not understanding how to function at this level. And then just when I figure that out, I level up again. And it is terrifying because it's the ego that you're losing, the ego that you're unwinding. That's where the fear comes from. Thank God we're not alone on this journey. We can ask for help. I had such a hard time with that word God for a very long time. I love it now. Yeah,
Me too.
yeah, it doesn't trigger me at all. I'm very comfortable. I'd actually feel it feels very comfortable to me. And I don't mean it like the Christians do. It's interesting because I certainly am not talking about that when I say the word God. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff it seems like people unwind with the parental relationships. I I experienced some of that with my grade 4 to grade 8 Catholic schooling experience.
Mm.
That that came in a number of years ago. I was in my 30s, and that got revealed to me in a very interesting way, and I was just like, "Oh my god!" Yeah. So that's when that really kicked into high gear, the healing of all those words, and yeah. Whew.
When I first started working with Jesus again, when I was with Master Sha, I was working with Jesus a little bit. But when I left, I stopped doing soul communication altogether for like 6 months. And when I started again working with him, I was using the word J because I was still being triggered by Jesus was too Christian for me. And yeah, it doesn't bother me anymore either, Jesus.
I used Jay for a while, and I also used George.
George.
Yeah, because I don't even know why, but I needed something that felt whimsical or something, or
Yeah.
I don't know. I needed that dose of ridiculous with all and George for some reason
Yeah,
helped me with that.
good. Whatever it takes. Yeah.
So I was spending some time today and last night with Supernatural.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I still
they
love that
are.
show.
They have been my mighty companions.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, that when that show came in for me, I was 30. They had just started, like first or second season, back then. And I remember flipping through the channels, and this happened, and I was like, "Whoa!" And I saw Jensen, and I don't remember if I knew who he was at the time. Maybe a little bit. I don't know. But I stopped because I felt like he looked exactly like a friend of mine who had died. Like if that friend of mine would have had a chance to grow up and turn into a man, that was it. So it and at the now I realize spirit's like, stop, watch this. Here you go, take this, yeah. And then that's how supernatural found me. Yeah. Yeah, and they're like it's all angels right now. And the one episode, Dean, he's praying, and it's an what they're calling an open prayer, like a full open prayer. It's not just a Castiel or whatever, it's like full open. And he's very uncomfortable doing this. And he's the whole situation leading up to it was incredibly, how you have to be made really uncomfortable so you'll be willing to, what I mean, expand. And so that's what I felt like I was watching. And how many times have I seen this episode? I can't even tell you how many times, right? But I'm just there's so many layers that get revealed when it's time. And he was told later, by the angel that shows up, well, when you put out an open prayer like that, everybody's gonna show up, and I was just like, fuck, like how open are my prayers? And not that I'm trying to attract a ton of angels, like those are just symbols, right? But how open is the communication? Is it kind of a little open? Like where is it? So that's that's where I was with that. Like, wow. In the demonstration, when you put out a prayer like that, everything shows up. Yeah. I think it's pretty clear and pretty easy when it's embraced.
Yeah, it's the key. It's that when once that willingness shows up,
I don't know, this fear is exhausting. I find it exhausting.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the thoughts that come up, how long they linger, and the intensity of stuff, like the roller coaster of intensity. I find it like, wow, this takes up a lot of space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, during a video yesterday, David said something about time and spirit, and that spirit like will not let you linger in time. And I was like, whoa. Like for me, I feel like I recognize the truth in that, because when I try to I don't know, do some of the things I used to do, and but with the intention of distracting or sidestepping, or do you know what I mean? Uh I can, like, I'm using time to trap myself, right? To delay. And I feel it now, like when I'm trying to do stuff like that, it feels off right away, like really fast. It feels off. It feels off. And it's like spirit is right there going, this isn't going to work for you. This is not going to work for you.
You're listening. I recognize a lot of messages in hindsight, and I received one very early in my previous relationship. This isn't for you. I really wish I had listened. And I hadn't have stayed longer than I think I should have. Be right here, right now. Yeah, I have a lot of stories. I'm really working with who would I be without these stories? Who am I without these stories? What is this without my stories?
Yeah, the stories.
They're all painful. All of my stories are painful. I don't have any
And the
not
ones
painful.
that seem happy aren't actually, that's not, that's not accurate. I remember, when the experience of relationships that start to slip away, the ones that no longer serve a purpose just trickle off to the side, right? And I when I first started experiencing that, what I noticed was the stories. We'd get together and it would be the same words, the same conversations, the same stories from our past, from college, from whatever. And they just started to get, I just started to notice, hmm, this isn't funny anymore. We used to laugh about it every time it came up, but I'm not feeling it's funny anymore. Like that just kept happening, every time we'd get together. And eventually those relationships just fell off. They just, yeah, they just fell off. And I do struggle with trusting some of it because guilt, right? Like, and I know that the guilt isn't even about that. It's just the guilt that shows up. The circumstances are irrelevant. If there's guilt to be healed, it's just the guilt to be healed. And but that was the initial noticing, like being shown. You notice how this, you're not getting out of it what you thought you used to get out of it, and now you're noticing it. It's empty. That's, yeah, yeah. And I think that just keeps happening, no
That's in
matter
the
what it is.
development of trust, isn't it? When things that we thought were valuable start falling away.
Yeah, yeah. There's a David said something brilliant about that. Yeah, it's actually just the awareness of, um like, it's like, yeah, I'm just showing myself you don't need this anymore. So,
Mhm. Yeah, I'm really noticing that with all of these, this letting go of all of my food stuff, all of the stories and the rules and rituals around food. That should go.
yeah, I was spending time with that yesterday and today. Food and the truth, like there's actually no cause and effect with food. Jesus wasn't kidding when he said, pay no mind to what you wear, what you eat, or, pay no mind to anything. But in particular, I notice food, right? So,
Well, and what I'm just like anything that we buy with those little paper strips and the round discs, like it's all just a facade to love. facade to love with the smokescreen hiding us. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I will. It comes back to that physical impulses. So with, let's like say with food, I'll get physical impulses. Um, like, oh, I want something sweet, or I want something, or I want something crunchy, or I want something salty. I want something. And spirit's like right there. Actually, you don't want something sweet or salty or crunchy. You want God. That's actually what you want, but it's just misdirected. Yeah, it's really misdirected.
Once you start using that as a lens to run your day, it's like nothing will ever be the same again. Using that as a guidance system. Lean in, lean into that one. What else you got in there, Christine?
Hmm.
How are your videos going? I haven't seen any yet because you're way ahead of me in lessons.
Oh yeah, I've been just doing the lives. Have just been the lessons.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm steering away from people who are talking about stuff that I haven't gotten to yet.
Mhm.
How's it going though? It's feeling good?
It's uh, it's really interesting. It's like what happens is happening right now. Actually, I just there's a lot of experience and not a lot of words. You know, like
Perfect.
yeah, just my old videos. Like it was so easy. Once I got going, it was really it was just given, right? So talk about this, talk about this, talk about this. Okay, and notice this. What do you notice this in the mind? Notice this, notice this. It was really easy. Um, well, I wouldn't say easy, but there was lots to share. And I got to watch my willingness and share that. And now it's just like, I feel like I'm being called out of the world and I'm just so floaty and so immersed in this experience in terms of realizing what it really is and realizing there's resistance. And so that the whole thing, I say the lesson. I don't know what it is before I talk about it. I deliberately do not look at it. And so I'm raw when I read it. And it's just teaching me and showing me just show up with intention, notice the experience, drop into what you're really experiencing. Because that's what all this is. The whole course is to offer an experience, right? Experiential. And so, yeah, just, and I read some part this morning from the very beginning. I've been looking at the very beginning of the course, like the miracles and then the first chapter and when I read, I decided to read a little bit from it, right? And it's like the second paragraph Revelation is intensely personal and cannot be meaningfully translated. Like that's what I read. I was like, well, that's good because I cannot translate this shit. That is why any attempt to describe it in words is impossible. Revelation induces only experience, and that seems to be what's happening. It seems to be where I'm at. Yeah, so that's what I felt guided to read today, and I didn't know it was going to say that. I was just like, well, fuck me. That's why we're here. That's why I feel this way, and this is what's happening. Like I'm just swimming in revelation and freaking out. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep reading the lessons. There's tomorrow, which is normal, a normal lesson from when I started, because I've only been doing the lives for this particular section. And then the day after tomorrow, there's like a whole description page for the next batch of lessons. And I think there's a lot of repetition in the last, like actual repetition in the last 7 or 10 or however many there are after.
I think it's the same lesson over and over from what I saw. I flipped through. When I first got it, I flipped through all of them and I noticed at one point, it was right at the very end, it's like the same lesson, literally
I
the
don't
same,
even know what it is.
it's the
I don't
same
actually.
words,
Yeah.
like 10 times in a row or something like that. I can't remember what it is either, but yeah, this is
Yeah.
exactly the same thing over and over and over.
Yeah. The last number of sections has been, I think, 10 lessons per section, and
Yeah.
they're all short, um, designed that way, because the time for words is less and less now. And I'm certainly feeling that. And each section comes with a description page, and then you dive into the lessons. And I have no idea what this last description page is. So and I feel like, again, in this moment, it's like, holy fucker, what did I think was going to happen when I started doing the lessons? What the fuck? So it's the way it unfolded for me, I didn't know I was going to be doing them that particular day. I didn't know it was going to start like that. And I'd been listening to David do the lessons. I don't know, like 10 days before, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how many times I listened to David with the lessons. And then all of a sudden it was like, boom, start. And I was like, oh shit, okay. And so many things happened. Like at one point, I spilled juice all over the course in a particular section, and I was like, whoa, like what the hell is that about? Like what is that for, But when it dried, the pages get all crinkly and ripply, and I loved it. I loved how it felt and how it sounded, and it was so helpful and um gentle. It made it gentler, the crinkly noises. And yeah, it's such a funny thing, but spilling my juice made it gentler. But
Highly individualized curriculum.
yeah, you were spilling juice now. Oh shit. you know and I can be so tactile, so I was just like constantly rubbing the pages. There's probably 10 or 12 of them that are just all, how thin paper reacts to water. Yeah, but I'm like, whoa, what's gonna happen? I'm almost at the end. Holy fuck. Like I didn't realize I had this like holy fuck kind of feeling about it. Yeah.
Are you
So I don't know
listening
what to
to
do.
Nook and Kareem?
I don't even know what that is.
It's A Course in Miracles Unpacked on YouTube.
Oh no.
They do the lessons and they're doing them through the year. So they'll be on the same lesson that you are. I'm specifically not listening to them because they're doing it differently than I am. Once I go through all the lessons, then I can go and listen. But I'm being guided that now I need to stay away from people
Right.
who are ahead of me.
Okay. Yeah. 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 I could see why, because the cracking open, like you have to be really ready and willing. Like you really have to wait for that green light to do it. I mean, I had my book since I was 30 and I didn't dive in and fully commit to lessons until March, you know? So it was, you never know. And you might not even ever need to, you know? It might be helpful and it might not be necessary.
Mhm.
I've been leaning into, kind of asking Jesus about reading the chapters. But I've read a lot of the chapters over the years, not in any kind of order. And I just, I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about the chapters. I don't know. I might skip to that feels a bit gentler, skipping to the manual for teachers. It does feel a tiny bit gentler. Like I don't have that ugh feeling with the manual. Maybe because it's shorter, so it seems gentler. It's only like 100 pages, right? Like we'll see. We'll see. I think the lessons first and
I really enjoy reading the text. I just discovered on the app that I'm using to read online. I was taking screenshots of the text. But I found out that if I click on it, I can underline the sentences and then create an image, and they will create a meme for me.
wow.
Yeah, so I've got all of these awesome memes that I'll show you.
That's like helpful reminders.
Yes, because I love, like, I've got little notes all over the place, right?
Yeah.
So this allows me to do it on my iPad
Well, you just said something that all of a sudden
like
made
this.
oh
So it creates a meme for me and it tells you where it is in the book, right? Like text 27, 7, 14, 2. And then this
yeah,
is the quote, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's so great. I love it.
Well, you got me now I feel relieved because I forgot that I can yeah, not interfere. Yeah, the part of my mind that is chosen this as a career and tries to interfere. Yeah, I can find stuff online so I can have the text read to me, right?
Yeah, I can't do that. I think this is from David, this site, as opposed to the foundation.
I'll
Um,
look into it. I don't think the foundation will read it to you. I'll
no, they don't. You have to, I have it on Audible, but it's not the same. In the workbook, I can listen to the lessons, but I can't listen to the text.
I'll see. I'll look up David and see if he's read the text the way he's read the lessons.
He has quite a few, like when you click on listen to audio, it'll take you to YouTube, and quite often he does it's connected to some text reading as well. I'll be right back. I'm just grabbing some water. I downloaded it on Audible, but I'm frustrated because you can't listen to the chapters. Like if you go in and just try to listen to chapter 3, verse 7, you can't find it. It doesn't line up properly. So it's terrible for referencing. It's just you have to just listen to it in a straight shoot, but that's not the way that I have been studying it at all. It's not like a
Yeah.
novel that I've just been reading
I know, me either at
page.
all. For all this time since I was 30 years old, and then all of a sudden start the lesson, and you're going to start here. You're not going to start at number one. You're going to start whatever March is, whatever mid March. And I think I mean I feel like I understand at least partly why it looked that way. The first large number of lessons I feel like are they're already integrated, like they're integrated. And so no, start here. Okay, okay, okay. God damn, I didn't fucking know. I didn't know. I should have. I really feel like I should have. Hello. Seems pretty ridiculous and naive to, of course, shit is gonna crack open and spell out. Yeah. Andrew asked me like an hour ago or right before this, um, what did I think my next steps were, which which is a languaging that I feel like really works for me. Like I heard it a lot with Living Miracles, and then the the do only this, in the course talk, do only Jesus, like do only this. I like step one, go for a pee. That's actually, so let's start really simple. You need to go for a pee. So go for a pee. And then, you know what I mean? And he asked me, what do you think your next steps are? And I'm just like, not a clue. Not a clue. Some kind of pausing pattern, holding pattern.
I've got this Wayne's World. Clueless, carefree, cared for. Those are my next steps. Lean in, go deeper. How can I be more clueless? How can I be more carefree? How can I allow myself to be more cared for? Yeah, allowing. I rest in God. It's so
Mm-hmm.
peaceful there. Rest in God.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my dear, until tomorrow, anything else?
Yeah,
Thank you for showing up.
you do.
Good
Bye.
night.